who has it worked for? And so the best way to share that with them is through the Renatus reviews, which is all of the reviews that we have on YouTube. You can just simply pull it up and just show them video after video. You can also use your own testimonials. If it's live and in person at an event, you'll see me many times, and I recommend doing this. The people that you know within the community, as you're talking to a prospect, simply say, hey, Alden, from across the room, I'll do this quite often. Hey, Alden, how much you going to make on that flip you're doing right now? And he'll just yell out, 63,000. And I'll say, yeah, hey, Lauren, that project you guys are working on right now, what's your projected net profit? And I'll just go through and I'll have my prospect see 4 or 5 or 6 people that are succeeding, because they want to know, does it work? It's a large investment in themselves. It's an intangible investment. It's an education that, people are like, okay, it's not going to work overnight. I don't get an immediate gratification. So the immediate gratification of our product is the testimonials. So the testimonials are so important, and it's so important for you to have your own. You got to have your own. So yesterday, which was on a Sunday, I met with some clients because they couldn't meet any other day. And I have known these people for a very long time, personally. And I sat down with them in my office, and I simply told my story. And I told the story of where we were 6 years ago, and, what we've achieved, and the houses that we've bought, the ones that we flipped, and some of the profits, how we structured those. It took me about, I would say it was 15 minutes. And I spent a good amount of time just sharing with them the arc of the story. Now, I don't know how many of you guys ever took creative writing or any type of writing course, but there's an arc to every story, and there's a resolution at the end. And sometimes that resolution is disappointing, but that's beside the point. But basically, the arc of every story begins with a hero or heroine. You lay the foundation. They have a crisis. They have to overcome it. They have conflict, and then there's a crescendo, and then there's a resolution. And that's the arc of every story. And in the arc of your testimonial, you need to have those components when you're sharing who you are, what you were. And those components are very simple. It was where you were before, why you got started, and what you've learned since. So where, why, and what. So, where I was before is I was a construction worker. I had never bought a house, but I built a lot of them. I decided to get started in Renatus so I could learn to flip houses. And since then, I've flipped over 20 homes. I've been part of 20 transactions. I flipped over 14 homes personally. And, I own 3 rentals. So yours could be, I was not happy with my job, not feeling like I would be able to retire. I decided to learn some things I didn't know from millionaire investors. And what I've learned so far is how to reduce my debt obligation every single month, restructure my taxes so I pay a lot less by running a business, and I'm positioning myself to do my first deal, right? So this is you sharing your story, and it's relating, and what it's building is belief, right? It's building this house of belief over here that is so critical. So the second question that people have in the sales process of Renatus, after does it work, is will it work for me? Okay, so they want to know, will it work for me? Sorry, my pencil ran out on me here, guys. So I'm just going to talk you through this. Will it work for me? So I don't know if you've ever heard this, but you probably have if you've been around for a while. People don't care how much you know. They care. They want to know how much you care. So I'll say it again. People don't care how much you know. They want to know how much you care. And you need to pivot the sales process away from yourself to them and making it about them, because they want to know, does it work? And as soon as that's met in the conversation, or met in the interaction, or met in the event, they want to know, will it work for them? Because what people love most to talk about is themselves. It's their dreams, right? And so, um, does it work, and will it work for me? So that's when you pivot to them. Tell me about yourself. These are some of the questions that you can ask in the sales process. Tell me about yourself. Tell me about some of the goals that you have. You know, if money wasn't an option, what would you do with your life? What are you most passionate about? These are the different questions that Woody Woodward has helped us do. If you had $10,000 coming into your bank account every single month, and all of your needs were met for you and your family, what would you do with your day? What would you want to? What would you travel? Would you do extreme adventures? Tell me about who you are. And then as they tell you that, they're going to open up to sharing with you their dreams, what they're after. And that's really pretty tremendous when you think about it, that the business that we're in is the business of restoring people's dreams, of helping them to dream again, right? Because life can be a dream crusher, man. Jobs are dream crushers. You show up and you grind it out, and you go home and you deal with the effects of it. And many of us stop dreaming, and we have to relearn it as adults. I have 4 children, and they dream all day long. They imagine and they dream, and they play and they pretend, and they have this whole world they live in. And I didn't teach them that, right? But we unlearn that, and I want you guys to learn it again. I want you to learn to dream about what's possible. My family and I are heading to Hawaii for 2 months next week, all of us together. And it's a dream that we've had to go back to the islands as a family for over, since we left, 6 years that we've been working at that and doing that. And now it's becoming a reality. It's becoming a reality because we've planned for it. We set some goals, we put a strategy in place, and we implemented those plans on a daily basis, right? So that's how you make dreams come true. So does it work? Will it work for me is their second question. And then the question you get to ask them after they tell you all about them and if it will fit, their life. There's so many different ways to, as people just open up to you and say, well, I've been in real estate for 30 years. I don't need this. I know everything. The question to ask there is, well, if you know everything, why are you talking to me? Or people are like, well, I don't have any money. I'm broke. And, I have no time. And you just ask, how long do you want that to be the case? If you don't change what you're currently doing, is anything going to change in your life? So there's always a question at the end of the, will it work for me? Because they go, I just don't know if it'll work for me. I don't have, I don't like school. I'm busy. And you got to understand that every single one of those, what you might deem as an objection is not actually an objection. It's just an excuse, right? And if you can just meet it head on and in a question format and let them answer that excuse for themselves, then you lead them to the place of them realizing, you don't have to tell people what they already know. You can let them reveal it to themselves through accurate questions, right? So question-based selling is a fantastic book, and it's a great process to understand that all you're doing is guiding people to something that they really want. You're educating, informing, and collecting a decision. Those are the 3 things that you do in the process of helping people connect to Renatus: educate them, inform them, and collect their decision. So does it work? Will it work for me? And then the last one is, will I do it? And this is where you get to ask them that question. So would now be a good time to get started? We process many different forms of payment. Did you bring a credit card or a debit card? Which one would you like to use? Different closing questions is how you end that sales process and begin to achieve the dreams that you have in your business by helping people connect to their dreams in the sales process, and then get them going. So Daniel asked, how do we get question-based selling in the Audible account? I believe it's there, Daniel. I'm pretty sure. There's over 200 books there. And interesting. I'll ask Michael about it. We can get that added. Very good. So it's a great book. There's also another book in there, Daniel, in the meantime. It's called Spin Selling, S-P-I-N, Spin Selling, and it's fantastic. I read it early on, and I was really struggling in the beginning around even wanting to be a salesperson. I really didn't want to be one. My dad was in sales. He sold vacuums and water purifiers and just about anything else, knives and all kinds of stuff. And I just really didn't want to be in sales. And I really, although I am a salesman and I am in sales, I'm not salesy at all. I relate to people. I share with them the vision that I have in my own life and connect them to the vision that they can have for their life. And then I show them the vehicle that will take them on the journey to the destination. And that vehicle is Renatus. And I describe what that vehicle has done for me, and I help them connect to what it can do for them. And that's what I get to do every day. And then I live that out through using that vehicle for my own wealth building activities in the real estate that I'm doing. And I just get to spend my days encouraging people, helping people come together and achieve their dreams, which is awesome, which is why you are all here, because you've reconnected to your dreams, or you're wanting to reconnect to what your life can be like. And many of you were probably connected to that because you were inspired by somebody else, because you heard that Mitch Nelson, has a really nice car and makes a lot of money. I don't know what your dreams are. Maybe you heard that I used to live in a basement apartment and now I own like 6 basements in less than 5 years. Or maybe you heard that Michael Huggins used to work at Jiffy Lube with grease under his fingernails, and now he's a multimillionaire. You were inspired, and you went from being inspired to being motivated. And motivation won't take you there either, though. So it starts with you're inspired, then you're motivated, and then you take action, right? And so those actions are things that you do daily. Because if you happen to be taking notes, I'm sorry my pencil is not working right now, but your character is defined by what you do daily. I watched the movie last night called The Darkest Hour. It's about Winston Churchill, and it shows his daily routine, which is not impressive. I mean, this is an old guy that drank, all day long and smoked cigars and had terrible health habits, but was a fighter. They called him the Bulldog of Britain because he rallied the entire nation behind him, because he had habits in his life that he had created over years and years, and he had been prepared for through all the struggles before. And he was the perfect man to lead that country through World War II and conquer the Nazis. He was the man. And the habits that we create in our lives start with what we think. And what we think, we act on. And what we act on becomes our daily routine. And our daily routine defines our life. So I want to end with and encourage you around, what are you thinking? What are you thinking about for this year? What are you thinking about for this week? What are you taking action on? How are you converting those thoughts into actions and turning those fantasies into actual dreams that are goals, that are plans, that are written down? And then because that's going to define your habits, and your habits every day, it's who you are. And it's not so much about setting goals and making resolutions. It's about becoming the person of character that you choose to be. And you have the amazing ability within this community to be encouraged in that, and to participate in that, and to follow others as they're doing the same. So be the best version of yourself that you can be, and you guys will do fantastic. So with that, stay plugged in. These meetings, everyone, are fantastic. Have a great week, you guys. I'll see you at our events this week. And don't forget that we got Super Saturday coming up here in Salt Lake this Saturday. We have Jeff Armstrong coming out January 27th. And we do have a college week happening Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday up here this week as well with Jay Massey. So Jay Massey is one of my favorite instructors of all time. And so definitely you want to jump into college week one or all of those days and attend we have a huge announcement. And for our Super Saturday, you got to be there here in Salt Lake this Saturday. So I'll see you guys at our events and regular schedule this week for Epic and all the good stuff that we do to help you with your prospects as well. So have a great one. We'll talk to you later. Thanks.